Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining me here at Unapologetically Progressive. Did you hear that ridiculous stuff Donald Trump had to say yesterday? A lot of it was just absolutely insane about what he had to say. Now, if you weren't paying attention or you just happened to be trying to avoid political stuff in the news lately, yesterday Donald Trump did a press conference down in Mar-a-Lago where he decided he was going to talk about all sorts of crazy bullshit that have no basis in reason at all. Now, if I remember correctly, people voted for Donald Trump to bring down the price of gas, bring down the price of groceries. The eggs were too high and gas was insane. Even though presidents don't really have a whole lot of control over the price of eggs. Or the price of gasoline, for that matter. But he's not going to do any of that. Now, he already said that groceries are going to be impossible to bring down. He said that in his Time interview. But now he's made it clear to the American people that he is not going to do anything for the American people, to help America at all. Everything he wants to do is to make himself look good to idiots and pander to Vladimir Putin over in Russia. He has made that abundantly clear. Now, we're going to talk about a few of these things in this video. But first off, let's talk about the Panama Canal. He would not rule out the use of military action on Greenland and the Panama Canal. Now, what's going on with the Panama Canal? Well, we gave the Panama Canal back to Panama back in like 2000, I think it was. And we gave it back to the people of Panama. In part because at the time, we didn't want to invest the money into making it bigger, and our ships couldn't really use it. And so we gave it back to them, and we have to pay fees to go through the port. That's been going on for a long time. Now, around 2017, 2018, they opened up some new locks to the Panama Canal, which apparently were wider and deeper and allowed for larger ships to go through. And so more American ships were actually going through since then. But since that time, China has kind of moved in to the area. They've bought up some land in the areas, on each end of the canal. And apparently people are not okay with that. And I guess the only people not okay with that is Donald Trump and his people and the people that follow him, because they believe anything he says. Now, first off, using fees to use somebody else's stuff sounds like how things work, right? And businesses have not been really complaining about, the businesses that use this area, use the canal, haven't really been complaining about it. They're like, that's just part of doing business. That's how it goes. But Donald Trump has said he's going to possibly send our military, to take over the canal by military force. And I don't know what that's supposed to be about. I don't even know what we're supposed to be doing there. That makes no sense. Why would we make an enemy out of somebody who's not an enemy? It doesn't make sense. Because it's just as bad as us. It's as bad, if not worse, than us invading Iraq. Because there are going to be casualties on both sides of this. Because do you think Panama's just going to sit there and roll over? No, it's their land. Just like we wouldn't roll over here. And then, of course, there was the talking about how he wants to rename the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. Now, I don't remember a time in my life or in history where it was called the Gulf of America. Nor do I think it needs to be even an issue. It doesn't even be discussed. It's not a thing. Changing it does nothing for the American people. Just like invading Panama will have nothing good to come for the American people. It's going to be absolutely terrible for the American people in Panama, because we're going to spend more money. But turning the Gulf of Mexico into the Gulf of America, okay, you can do that if you want. Maybe he can take a Sharpie on a map and scribble out Mexico and write America. He can do that, I guess. He's an idiot. He can do whatever he wants, right? It doesn't change what it is, I guess. I don't really care. I think it's stupid. And then there was Greenland. Of course, there he said he would not rule out using military force to take Greenland from Denmark, an ally. Now, I don't understand why we would want Greenland. There's only a few ideas I have that I've read about that could possibly be a reason for Trump wanting to take Greenland. And that's because he wants to do it for Vladimir Putin. Because from what I have read, there is a military base, a NATO military base, on the island of Greenland that is used as protection, in some respects, from Russia. That's part of why it's there. So why would Trump want Greenland? Does he want its oil? No, we got plenty of oil. We got plenty of oil that's in the ground that we have not drilled yet. And so that's not the thing, even though there probably are some good supplies up in that region. And other important minerals and stuff that we could probably mine. But the people that are there don't want to be Americans. They've made that clear in the past. Why would they want to do it now? They don't. But Trump's saying if Denmark doesn't just hand it over, he's going to send our military in to take over the place. And by virtue attacking one of our NATO allies, thus removing us from protection of NATO to where Russia can come in and just invade America with nobody saying anything about it. That's exactly what Trump is trying to do. Now, then there's the discussion of Canada. He has been so adamant about making Canada join America. It is absolutely insane the things he wants to do. The people in Canada, yeah, there are some people that are supportive of President Trump in Canada. But the majority of Canadians don't want to be American. Right? They don't want to be part of America. They want to be part of Canada. Because that's their home. That's their country. Right? And yeah, there are problems in Canada. Prices are extremely high for a lot of people in Canada. You know, fuel prices, food prices. It wasn't that long ago that I was talking to a friend of mine that lives in Canada and talked about how rough things have been financially. And yeah, it's rough. But joining up with America is just going to make it worse. But he said he would use economic or possibly military coercion with them as well. Basically threatening sanctions on Canada if they don't join America. But you know what's going to happen when he tries to play hardball with Canada? They're going to play hardball back. And a lot of our northern states are going to lose their access to electricity and power. Because a lot of those states work with Canada to get their electricity. Or at least some percentage of it. These are things that make no sense, and we should not be even entertaining them. I actually can't believe I'm sitting here having to make a video over it, because this man is such a freaking idiot that people believe that this stuff is important. The Gulf of America, not important. Greenland, not important in terms of America needing it. And the Panama Canal is just another useless reason for war. This was supposed to be the man that was anti-war, was supposed to get us out and keep us out of all wars. And that's what a lot of people were expecting. A lot of those leftists that stayed home because of Palestine thought that by Trump being president, we'd at least get out of foreign wars. That's not going to happen. We're just going to be on different sides of them. If he follows through with these plans, we are going to lose all support from NATO. And I understand that we're a big portion of NATO. I understand that. But I also understand that without them, Russia has free reign. They can start bombing us at will whenever they want to. I'm not saying Russia would win a war against our military. But do you really want to see war on our shores? I don't. So I hope smarter heads prevail in this. And I hope Congress will not give him, the power to make war with Panama or Greenland. Because it's ridiculous. None of this makes sense. Anyways, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this content at all, please hit that subscribe button and that like button, and I'll see you down the road.